On this week's Set of Six, we're going to be talking about the brand new League One and Championship fixture. We can't escape from talking about Warrington, and we're going to check in with the North Wales Crusaders as they picked up the league title.
So welcome to our Set of Six, the Rugby League Outsiders, new show where we share the good, the great and the noteworthy of Rugby League from outside the heartlands. Let's get into it. Right, Carl, loads to get into this week. We've got a bit of controversy in the women's game. We've got updates from Welsh rugby, just a ton of stuff going on. Before we start, though, how was your weekend, my friend?
It was all right, actually. What about you?
Terrible, mate. I'm living in a house at the minute with 12 women, right, and like spiritual women. I told you last week about this crazy cacao thing that I was drinking, this chocolate which got my heart racing. Today it was like, you just won't believe it. It's just it's been a bit of a nightmare. I missed out on the rugby because there was some Brazilian rainforest ceremony going on in the backyard.
That sounds completely normal.
Yeah, completely normal. So anyway, right, let's get into this week. We've got to start off by saying that this show is sponsored by Pvida, and you can check their kit out at yourclubstash.co.uk. Carl, a little word on Pvida?
Yeah, incredible stash. They do everything from kits, stash, accessories, you name it. If you want kit for your amateur club, these guys at Your Club Stash will sort you out, and it's really decent stuff, quick turnaround time. Yeah, more on that a bit later on.
Yeah, so, and obviously, we're all in rugby league for the stash, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, that is the only reason.
Some people swap clubs because they have better stash.
Mate, the minute you start dishing out free tracksuits, free shirts, free shorts, socks, you know what I mean? You're instantly going to start signing players. You might not keep hold of them, you know what I mean? But, Carl,
we've travelled to other end of country for some free stash. Mate, we've done videos based on free stash.
Yeah, 100%. And what's your worst bit of stash you've ever got?
Worst? Oh, when I was ball boy at Bradford, they gave us these tracksuits, and they were like, even though we were in the 2000s, they were still like the 90s shell suit style tracky bottoms, and they were absolutely massive. Like where there's a lot of kids, but they get them all extra large adults. It's like, hey, you'll be all right, have these. So we were like,
massive
mess.
My worst bit was I was at Huddersfield Academy, and we got these tracksuits, the claret and gold tracksuits, and they were shocking. But like, do you remember in that early 90s?
The colours were terrible anyway.
Yeah, and in the 90s, it was like middle of Bullmania, wasn't it? Like kits were starting to get really funky, really funky. Think back to like Sheffield Eagles, that famous shirt with the big eagle on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there was our plain. It's probably considered like vintage now, but back then they were terrible. They were terrible. So that was my worst bit of stash. Right, let's get into it, Carl. So tackle number one. We can't escape this news that's dropped this week about the League One Championship merger. Now, this came out of nowhere.
No, and obviously we don't want any more loop fixtures because they're the devil. Yeah, so the new Championship and League One structure was announced, and 21 teams are going to be in it. They're going to merge the two divisions, make one big division. There are going to be 21 teams in the league. It did come out of a little bit out of the blue, this, didn't it? It fit, to me, feels like it's been rushed through a little bit, but obviously we've got a changing restructure going on in the Super Leagues. Obviously it was going to trickle down into League One and Championship, and out of nowhere last week the bomb was dropped. And the first thing that stood out to me is we don't want loop fixtures, but we're definitely going to have loop fixtures going into this next division.
Yeah, it's like I said, 21 teams, you know what I mean? So the fixture list is going to be all over the place anyway. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't even know the final structure at the minute.
Yeah, so my thing with this, and obviously straight away, loads of people piling in, you know what I mean, about how this news has been dropped and all this kind of thing. A couple of things from me, right? Where the hell is this interim report? Do you know what I mean? So we've got this interim chair or whatever that's going to create this game-wide review of the game. Where is it? Where is it? Because we haven't been told anything. Literally, like mushrooms, fed on shit and kept in the dark. And then they dropped this news. Yeah, clearly they have forced it through, because if they didn't, they would have been committed to the Super 8s, then committed to, the same structure for next year. So they forced it through now, in order to get ahead of next season, but without any like meat on it, And the problem with that is when people are kept in the dark, they start to speculate, and there's already a load of speculation about how this is going to go, for next year.
I think the thing to say here is it's been decided by the clubs, hasn't it? This is what they want. I think League One was struggling. There's no two ways about it. League One was struggling. If I put my own personal opinion on it, I think it's going to have a positive effect on the game. Certainly for League One clubs. I don't know about the effect it's going to have for Championship clubs. Are you a fan of having one big division, or would you prefer to see a tier under the Championship continue? The one thing I would say is that I can't talk about clubs' finances. Obviously, I imagine League One clubs are struggling. But competitive, the competitive nature of the games, I think the Championship has been as good as it's been for years. And actually, over the last 3 years, I think it's got better and better and better. I think so. The standard in the Championship's really good. I think now you're adding League One teams into that, you're actually going to water it down a lot. And I actually think League One is a very competitive league as well. I don't know if merging them is necessarily going to work, other than it's going to offer more financial security for the teams.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of pros and cons, which perhaps we'll list off in a minute. But I'm with you. I think as dedicated league, Championship very competitive, right? League One very competitive, but in their own bracket. I think if you start, your time will tell. You get Gull Vikings start playing some of, the teams at the top of the Championship as it stands right now. Like you're going to see some big results, and people are going to be like, well, no, we don't. Rugby League's not strong enough, We're going to see all those negatrons that are going on about the big scores.
You can already see the headlines now, can't you?
Yeah.
For next year. So, obviously we're speculating because we don't know the full structure. Like one of the ideas that's been suggested is that they might play the teams around them more based on where they finished this year, which seems totally lopsided. You're certainly not going to play all teams home and away, so that's going to have a negative effect on the division. There's a lot of...
Well, it's complex.
Yeah.
And for a simple sport played by relatively simple people, why do we need to make it so complex? You know what I mean? And then the other thing as well is, like you said, it seemed to me like everything was growing and developing, and we had a plan and we were going to push through with it. And I think IMG at the top of the game, would have had a positive effect, but we're kind of just we're scrapping all that, with the promotion.
IMG's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if you start reading between the lines, the clubs don't seem to value it. I think IMG's going, because otherwise we won't be just making these knee-jerk changes that we are to the structure. It seems like a bit of a shame to me. Again, I'm going to make the same point. We don't know the final structure of this league next year, but for me, we're going to have really uneven fixture list, and I can already see the headlines that are coming down the line next season.
Well, if I was to make a prediction, I can't see this being sorted out right up until a couple of weeks before the season starts, if I'm honest. I don't know. I accept that if we're going to make big changes and we're going to sort things out, we're going to rip the plasters off, you know what I mean? And it's going to cause...
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get on with it,
We've got to get through the crap in order for it to settle down, and all that. However, we don't need to be making extra crap, do we? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't like how this news was delivered. I don't like how it's come about. I know that some of the proper rugby league journos are getting some shit for being negative about this situation, but I think I'm sorry, but the administration, perhaps the clubs, if they're involved, need to suck that up, because they're literally treating us like I don't know.
Yeah, the thing with it is there was a plan in place, wasn't there, leading up to 2026. So they've been adding extra teams to League One, reducing them in the Championship. And I think the hope was we were going to get to 2 leagues of 12 by 2026. I think that was the plan they were working towards, and that it seems like it's just been thrown out of the window. I was like, we need a new plan. And if it is all based on finances, then I kind of understand why they've had to make such a quick reaction. But like I said to you, I was in favour of having a strong Championship with a tier beneath it, I think.
So some of the quite obvious cons that some publications are reporting. First of all, there's going to be initial loss of revenue, isn't there, for some clubs, in terms of the Super 8s getting scrapped, promotion, relegation, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, that's the other point we haven't even spoke about yet. So the Super 8s or the middle, I don't know what it's called, the middle 8s that we were going to have between League One and Championship has been scrapped. North Wales Crusaders have been crowned champions this weekend. So yeah, you've already got a loss of revenue which clubs have probably budgeted for. Now, if the clubs have voted for this structure, they're clearly not too fussed about that.
I think the games will still go ahead, won't they?
No, they're not. They're
not going ahead?
No, they're not taking place. It's finished. The season's going to end early. Yeah.
So, and it's just uncertainty in a time where clubs just want some certainty.
No, I forget about the clubs for a minute. Think about the fans.
Yeah.
The clubs have voted for this. This is what the clubs wanted, so I don't think we can even mention the clubs. I think about the fans for a little bit. Do fans want to see an uneven fixture list next year in the Championship? I'm going to make a prediction here. I don't think the Championship will be as competitive next season in whatever format it's in compared to what it's been this season. I think there's been loads of negative headlines about the sport, but actually the product on the field this year in the Championship has been brilliant. Even now as we sit here we don't know which team's going to finalise the playoffs in the Championship because that's how competitive it's been this year. And that's all I believe. I genuinely believe that's down to the IMG grading and the fact that some of these teams, if they get the house in order, they do perform on the field, they do still have that Super League carrot being dangled for them.
Yeah, they're looking up. They're looking at the likes of Salford, some of the other clubs that have struggled this year. Yeah. And they're like, there's a strong case for us to be promoted here. Not now.
There's 5 very strong clubs in the Championship.
Yeah.
You can easily make a case for going into Super League next year. And even if we didn't have this new 2 teams added to Super League next year on, I think they would still be pushing up there. I think. So yeah, I don't think the Championship will be as strong next season. That's my honest opinion.
Right, Carl. And just a couple of pros then. So you could expect for some clubs there'll be some bigger crowds, especially if you've got the likes of, later on, Conrad Anderson from North Wales Crusaders talks about, he's relishing the idea of playing the likes of Widnes, which would be a local derby for them. So you can imagine like big crowds, potentially more revenue in the long term for these clubs if they can get through this initial period.
Well, certainly for the League One clubs, yeah. If you've got an Oldham coming to Midlands Hurricanes or a Bradford Bulls or a York coming to, we don't know what divisions they're going to be in, but if any of those sides are playing away, teams down the lower end of sort of League One or any of the teams in League One, certainly you're going to get an increase in revenue just because you're going to have more fans coming there. I don't think you can say the same about League One clubs going to the teams at the top, the higher end of the Championship, though. And the other thing that worries me a little bit, we're supposed to be talking about the pros here. I think we could have some big blowout scores.
Well, no, 100%. You'll get
massive,
some blowout scores, and we've got to be able to take them. I think we've got to be able to shoulder them and tolerate those for at least a couple of seasons till this sorts itself out.
Yeah.
And settles down.
Another pro would be, I think the travel will be less for some of the League One sides. I think geographically they were we went from, at one point, didn't we, went from London to Wales to Newcastle to Cornwall at one point, didn't we? So
and then Cumbria.
Yeah, so the travel hopefully won't be as much. So that should be a saving on the budgets as well. So that's another positive, I think.
Right. So obviously, want to hear what your take on this is. Are you affiliated to one of these clubs that's going to be affected? And if so, how do you feel about it right now? And if you're not, and you're just a wider fan of the game, perhaps a Super League team fan, like what do you think? And if it was you, put yourself in their shoes, how would you be feeling right now? I want to really get the comments going on this because there's not a lot of information coming from the governing body and the club. So, I really want to get a feel for how it sits on the ground and how this news has landed. So, a little bit of good news though, Carl. Friend of the show, Freya Turner, who is a player at Lee Leopards women's side. She's had to wait her turn, but she finally got a little bit of a crack at the game. Picked up player of the match a couple of weeks ago. Played Leeds with outstanding speed, strength. Cut out a breakaway.
Yeah, well, I see you sent the clip over to me, didn't you? Leeds made a break, and she was like on the other wing.
Yeah, she's on the opposite wing.
Cut right across, like fastest player out of the 26 players on the pitch by the looks of it. Yeah, incredible tackle that she made all that distance to get to the other side of the field. Yeah.
Yeah, why it's important, this story, is because she's a local girl to us in the Midlands. She'd never played rugby. I think she played a little bit of rugby union locally before she went off to university, found rugby league, and has just been given this opportunity to play for one of the top clubs in the country. And she's still finding her feet, and like I said, she's had to bide her time and wait her turn. But now, I think if she starts picking up experience, she's going to be a regular feature in the team, and really excited for it. So well done, Freya, and good luck to her dad, whose birthday it was yesterday as well.
Let's get her on the show.
One of the things when I was chatting to her dad about it, I was like, is she in the rugby league video game? And he sent me a picture of her avatar, right? Yeah. And we made a challenge and sort of said, right, okay, get on there and make a player that looks like you and I, right? Now, we haven't received that yet, but I want to throw it out to the wider rugby league community.
Oh no! You're asking for trouble here, mate.
I'd love to see people's, because you can get on there and you can design your own player, can't you?
I think so.
Right. So I want people to get on there and design Carl, right, and then take a screenshot and send it to us, and the best ones will feasture on the show.
Why me?
Mate, just because there's no point doing me. We don't know it. We're just like glasses,
blind mole.
Like a blind mole, But with you, there could be all sorts going on. But I want to see, like, Conrad Url's arse, Farteely's haircut. You know what I mean? It could have an absolute field day. So yeah, get on that and let's see your avatars for next week.
Farteely stuck his hair back on, hasn't he?
Mate, where has that come from? He was supposed to shave it off for charity, wasn't
he? Oh, he did.
And then it was like flowing locks at the weekend.
Maybe he kept the bobble bit and just
stuck it on.
Stuck it back on.
Bizarre. Great player, but bizarre haircut. Right, next one. Wheels off at Warrington Part 2, Carl. Right, so
God.
It just the problems at Warrington continue to rumble on, and Warrington actually shafted me this weekend, right? Because I said on paper this could be that they could stiff Salford by 80 points. Right, you clip that up with no context, put that out there. Warrington did an absolute shocker at the weekend.
Yeah.
And I got absolutely slammed on social media. So I'm not happy with Warrington. Therefore, we're going to do Wheels Off at Warrington Part 2.
Yeah, my phone was, like you just sat there and all of a sudden your phone starts lighting up. It's going, you can hear it vibrating every 2 seconds.
Yeah. And your missus is like, what's going on?
I was like, what's going on here? I was like, oh, Craig, what have you done here? Yeah, and I started looking at all the comments. It was like, the usual, this aged well. And then I looked at the clip. It was like, Warrington could put 80 points on top. No context in the clip compared to what he said in the show. Yeah, it was just making me laugh. I was like, Craig's getting it on social media here. Anyway, the wheels off at why? Did we say the wheels were off last week, or did we say the wheels were close to falling off?
I think the bearings were squeaking and the axles were creaking.
That's how you put it last week. They're off now, aren't they?
Oh, they're gone.
Fallen off.
We're not on wheels.
In dramatic fashion. And I suppose
they're currently parked on the side of the M62 waiting for the AA to turn up. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. So we're recording this on Monday. We 100% expect Sam Burgess to be in a meeting, don't we, with the Wire officials today. I want to put it out to you, straight yes or no. Do you think Sam Burgess should keep his job? Do you think he will keep his job?
Wow. Should we not work up to this?
Well, you can if you want.
No,
But
I mean, the only thing this depends on now is time. Inevitably, Sam Burgess is losing this job. I think it's inevitable.
Well,
right? I can't.
He's contracted for another year.
I don't care. He won't be the first coach to get sacked with years left on his contract.
I'm not so sure they will, because Warrington have been down this route before of sacking coaches before they've seen out the contract, and sometimes you got to let them see it out. It takes more than 2 years to build a team, doesn't it?
Right. Well, I'll get your take on this in a minute, but this is my take on it. It needs to be clear out. Absolutely. In the Navy, they call it a clear lower decks. Right. Everyone that's underneath the, in the lower decks, get up, get out. Right. So, and that's what it needs. I think coaching staff, some players, it needs a complete culture change. I talked about this last weekend.
Yeah.
And things actually got a damn sight worse. I didn't think we'd be sat here talking about it again. I think Salford would be in a game where they're like, look, at least we're going to pick up a win against Salford. And as the game went on and I was watching it, I was like, hell, Salford are winning here. And then I was like, God, imagine if they won. You know what I mean? In my head, I was playing it out in like this world of fantasy, thinking, God, imagine if they beat Warrington here and how bad that's going to be for Sam Burgess and all the players.
Was you watching the Salford game?
Yeah, and then as
I was watching the other game.
No, you weren't, mate, because it swapped it, didn't it?
No, well, that's what I was about to say. I watched both games because Sky decided I want to watch it one game in full. What was going on there?
Well, I started watching. Which game was it? It was the.
Was it the Hull KR game on at the same time? Hull KR Saints.
It was the Hull KR Saints, right? And then all of a sudden I was like, hang on a minute.
Duffy's got the ball. Yeah, that's what I was like. How did Duffy get the ball?
What's happened? Yeah, so they just changed games.
So I'm like smacking the dog. I'm like, he sat on the remote. Give me the remote back.
I mean, anyway, yeah. So you switched games halfway through. It was bizarre. And then I tried to find the original game I was watching. Couldn't find it on the bloody Sky on the app. Just a mess. But anyway, as the game was going on, I was like, Salford are going to win this.
Yeah. And
then the reality hit me. I was like, how long after the game does Sam Burgess last? Like it just can't. Well, because you earlier on you said no. Forget about the teams. Think about the fans. Think about those Warrington fans. I mean, I know Warrington fans, right, that refused to go and watch in case they did lose. Like some of those Warrington fans kind of knew in the back of their mind that they were going to lose this match.
And I think Salford fans knew they might win it. Well, did you see how many fans they took to that game?
I know.
And do you know what else? I think you could get 22-1 for a Salford win last week. I saw it pop up a few times on Twitter, people going, you want to back Salford this week?
Yeah.
And we were like, nah, surely not. I wish I had done. There would have been a few quid more in my wallet this week.
So that was a long answer. So I don't think Sam Burgess is going to have a job for very long. Right, if he goes today, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be a little bit upset because when he came in, we had the Sam Burgess effect. It was amazing, wasn't it? It was like this homecoming of the Messiah when he took over that team.
Yeah.
Especially because they instantly started doing so much better and became real contenders. They became a defence-centred team, and they would bully teams, and then your skill from the likes of George Williams, etc., would just take teams apart. And they were real contenders until the start of this season, and the wheels started to wobble, and here we are now.
Sam Burgess's record, though, so over the 2 seasons, won 30 games, lost 21, averages at 16 wins a season, got them to a Challenge Cup final, and they weren't too far off Old Trafford last year. So take it into context over the 2 seasons, I still think he might go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the club's got lofty expectations.
Well, certainly spent the money, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the thing, like, you've got to think, like, when you're throwing all this money at stuff, at players, at coaching staff, Sam Burgess won't be cheap, will he?
Oh, hell no.
You're throwing all this money at, and you. I mean, where are we? 8th, still in 8th, 20 points. And the teams that they should be competing with are up there at the top with like mid 30 points, low to mid 30 points.
Yeah.
The 14 to 16 points off. That's they're 8 wins. I don't know where they find those 8 wins this year. to be up there competing. So, yeah, that's my take on it. I think it's a matter of time, and I don't like the idea of it because I love the idea of, this Burgess effect was phenomenal. The guy's got presence. When the presses that we've done and he's been there, I mean, he just takes no shit. He's an iconic player. He was, I was hoping that he'd be an iconic coach, but this, unfortunately, is going to be a blotch on his career, on his CV.
I think it should keep him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think.
For how long though, Carl? And until what happens?
I'd give him another 12 months.
But would you accept another 12 months like this?
Oh, no.
Right,
and Warrington fans what?
No, this is what I'm saying. So, where does the change come then? Does he suddenly improve his coaching skills, or is he suddenly improve the culture there? What?
Well, yeah.
What happens then?
There's got to be. I think there's got to be some sort of change his back room. I don't think Burgess is necessarily the problem, or maybe he is. Maybe just not have enough experience. But we certainly saw a change in Warrington last year. So one bad season, one season where they overperformed. I thought. I think if you take the emotion out of it from the Salford game at the weekend, I'd probably keep him there a bit longer. I would, and let him build his team.
So what is changing then? Are you changing some of the players?
Yeah, you've got to change personnel on the field. Yeah.
Who?
What do you mean? Who? You want me to go through the entire team, build a new squad?
I want to know who is as pivotal as the head coach that you could change, introduce, take out, whatever, to have such a profound change on a club's culture and identity. But I can't see any other.
Yeah, but we don't know the characters and the players' back room, do we? We don't know what the culture's like at Warrington. Clearly, there's something off.
Is this a Bradford thing, Carl?
What do you mean?
Is it a Bradford thing? Is this why you're backing Sam Burgess?
No, I've just seen.
I'm only pulling
I've seen loads of teams. Just they have one. Call it a bad result. It's not been a great season for him, but one season I don't think always defines a coach. There's clubs who often stick with a coach. I'll throw St Helens into the mix right now. Everybody for 2 years, people have been calling for Paul Wellens to get sacked. All of a sudden, they've been getting better and better, and they're right in the playoff mix now. And that's because Eamon McManus stuck his neck out and he backed Paul Wellens when everybody else wanted him gone.
Would you liken this situation to the same situation I was in with Darryl Powell recently?
Yeah, I think it's very similar, isn't it?
So the best way to predict the future is based on the past, and they shipped him out.
Yeah, they did.
Probably, in fact.
But did it work? No, because they're in the same situation.
No, this is what I'm saying.
But they didn't give him enough time, did they?
I don't know. We're split on this one, aren't we? Yeah. You think they should keep him? I think there needs to be a complete change at the head of this.
I think coaches sometimes take too much flack.
Oh yeah,
for the performances on the field, and actually,
but that's a different conversation. You're saying
it's not, because you can keep your head coach and change a load of your playing personnel.
No, what I'm saying is, what you're saying, you're suggesting that it's Sam Burgess's fault wholly. I'm not saying it's purely Sam Burgess that can't steer this in the right direction. Those players have got to take 100%, responsibility for the part they've played as well. I'm not saying, it's all his fault. I'm talking about they've got to take
more responsibility because they're the players on the field.
Yeah, they're the ones. Yeah, kicking the ball, passing the ball, running the lines, making the tackles, missing the tackles.
Oh, there was a question put to us by somebody in the comments, and we might as well answer this. He said, I can't remember who put the comment. He said, based on the form of the current Warrington players, would you pick any of them for the England squad based on form?
I don't think you could. I don't know. You'd have to be a bit more scrupulous.
The captain of England is in that team, mate.
I know. Well, I mean, me and you've been talking about this for weeks.
George Williams has had some decent games, even with all the shit they've been going through. Even in some of the poor performances for Warrington this year, there has been times where he has still been the best player on the pitch.
Carl, I don't know what's got into this weekend. Yeah, there has. That's been the exception, right? But you flip it to Mikey Lewis. The exception is he's had a couple of bad games, or he's had a couple of games who got injured.
Yeah,
it's night and day. So you can't, just because George Williams had a couple of good efforts, Oh, that's it then.
No,
that's it. Let's break.
I was kind of talking about over the last sort of 4 or 5 games where they've been pretty terrible. He stood out in some of the games.
Yeah,
certainly didn't against Salford. Well, nobody did.
But in the same token, there's players in other teams further down the league that are not getting a look in at England purely because they're in a mid-table team or a lower team in the league. So the environment's not there to allow them to flourish or to be taken serious or whatever. You hear all the time of players making switches to different clubs because they want to crack at some silverware and international rugby.
Yeah,
so. It's just it's a weird one, isn't it?
No wire players for England.
I don't know, mate, because I need to look at the stats. I need to look at the team. You know what I mean, and then sort of make a decision. But
you do want to pick winners, don't you, for England? You want
of course I do.
You want to pick as many winners as possible. And there ain't many wins coming at wire at the minute.
Yeah. What about you then? You didn't answer that, did you?
No, because I tricked you and I threw the question over to you.
Fucking hell.
I think I'd still pick George Williams. Other than that, no. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who's actually in that current squad at the minute.
Well, I mean, there's a case for Danny Walker. Bearing in mind he's been injured for a large portion of the season.
There's a case, but it's not a strong case. They certainly improved when he came back. Yeah, I mean we don't have many hookers to go with. To be honest with you, so might just squeeze in at the minute.
Yeah, but you say that, but I mean Jez Litton's lighting the bloody league up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apart from his disciplinary record, I think, where he's on the line, isn't he? I think last week he was a point away from a ban or something.
Yeah, it just needs to
take
somebody's head off next week, doesn't he? So that's over and done with, so he don't miss any at playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, you say we've not got loads, but we've got players. I mean, Darryl Clark's been in the England setup for years now, so we do. They are there. We don't have to take someone who's on a bit of a downer.
That's it then. Move on and next tackle.
Whew, this is a tough show, isn't it? There's all sorts going on in Rugby League right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and everybody will have a different opinion.
Right, a little bit lighter now. We're going to do our world famous, according to us, shirt review, Carl. And recently we had the Indigenous round down under, and you've picked out the Indigenous shirts for us to do a little bit of a chat about and review.
Yeah, so we're a couple of weeks off. This was a couple of weeks ago, but I've been meaning to get into it because, everybody loves a shirt review, so why not? I've got as many of them together as I can. I just thought we'll fly through them.
Yeah.
And should we give them a Rugby League Outsiders rating, or we're just going to take a quick look at them? Do you know anything about the Indigenous patterns on the Aussie shirts?
Well,
yes.
I know a couple of little bit. I know that these kind of traditional patterns, they go back like 60,000 years. These Indigenous patterns. Yeah, I mean, there's some of the oldest sort of forms of art in the world. That instantly makes them special, doesn't it? And I know that each one kind of has like a special meaning. And there's a couple of different formats. So like some of them are very, the idea is that people understand what they are. So they might be maps to waterholes, or they might be maps to sacred places and stuff like that. Other ones are a bit more secret, and they've got a secret meaning that only a certain tribe would understand. So there's lots going on.
You said you didn't know much about them, I know you clearly do.
I know this kind of idea, and then the other thing as well is like circles will have a different meaning. You know what I mean? And they also have like different forms. So you might have like an X-ray style where you can actually see the bones inside a thing, and that sort of is supposed to represent. Well, not supposed to. It represents like a deeper connection to the animals, the earth, to nature and all that kind of thing. So, it's not just a load of dots thrown on a shirt. You know what I mean? There's a lot of meaning behind them, and I think it goes a long way to making these shirts very special, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna do a review, but I be honest with you, I don't know what every team's shirt meaning is and all that. No. I'm literally gonna go. I like how they've arranged those dots, or not arranged those dots.
And colours as well. I think colours have a different. There'll be like earthy colours. There's more spiritual colours. So, I'm excited for this. Looking forward to it.
Should we do a quick fire then?
Yeah. So we rating them or not?
We'll do a quick fire rating.
Quick fire rating out of 10. 10 being the best.
They're in no particular order. I've picked my favourite 3 at the end though. Right. So Cowboys 4 for me. Don't like it. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest.
It looks very Formula One to me, that. And, you know, I'm not big on Formula One. I'm going to give it a 6 because I like the colours. But, yeah.
Right, 4 from me. But I'm just going to throw out there, I haven't got it on here, but they wore a kit at the weekend. It was navy with, like, illuminous green on it. Absolutely awesome kit. I don't know what kit that is, but I'm going to dive into that next week. Maybe we'll review that one. Right, the Panthers then. These are in no particular order, by the way. Panthers, I really like that one. It's really strong Indigenous patterns on there. It works well with the colour scheme, I think. I'm going to give that a 7.
How much of that are you putting in your score, like whether you'd wear it or not? Do you know what I mean? It'd complement your eyes and stuff.
None,
right. I can't look at a shirt and think and not think, would I wear it? Would I not wear it?
Think about what it looks like on the pitch.
It looks like one of those crazy patterns where if you make your eyes go funny, you can see a dinosaur. You know what I mean? Those magic eye patterns you got at the seaside years ago. It's very. What I do like about this is the fact that it's very obviously a Panthers shirt. You know, with the colours of the dots and all that. So that's very clever. I like what they've done there. However, it does look a bit of a jumbled mess. It's not a great shirt in my opinion. I'm going to give this a 4.
That's a terrible rating. That's a great shirt, that is.
According to you, Carl, but I can have my own opinion.
Do you know one thing I would say?
What?
We reviewed the NRL shirts at the start of the season, and we weren't very complimentary on a lot of them. They've not changed much. I actually really like some of these Indigenous shirts. Right. The Dolphins shirt, which when we reviewed their shirt at the start of the season, you didn't like the logo.
The logo's terrible.
You said the logo was terrible. You said it
dolphin.
looked like a pack of cigs. I think you labelled the kit as, both home and away. What do you think of that one, Indigenous? This may be quick fire, this. Anyway, come on.
Yeah, this looks very... instantly look at that, I'm thinking Remembrance Day more than Indigenous style, just because of the patterns. Maybe it's my dodgy glasses or whatever. But not a great fan of that. I'm going to give that a 3.
I like it. I'm going to give it a 7. I think it's better than both of their kits that they've released this year.
God, we're polarised on this.
Right. The Raiders, Canberra Milk. What do you reckon of that?
No,
Canberra.
Oh, no, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, don't like it. Don't like it. Not big on that. There's a bit too much going on there for me.
I like it. Well, it's everything an Indigenous shirt should be. I like the animals going around the circle and all that. Right. I'm going to give that another 7 from me. It does look a bit like a training kit. That's all new thing I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a 5. I think it's the colour scheme. I don't like the green sleeves and the white.
I thought you were Lizard Man.
No, I am Lizard Man, but I'm not Lizard Man. But I do like a green, but I don't like that shirt.
Right, Roosters.
Like
5 from me, middle of the road, that one. Although I think it's probably better than the traditional kit. It's just a bit more going on.
BYD as well. Build your dreams. No, again, I like it. I like the fact that they've got like what is traditionally a Roosters shirt, and they've turned it, you know, and they've put their Indigenous pattern on there. I'm going to give that a 6.
Right. Tigers.
Don't like the collar though.
Tigers. I think that might be the wrong collar. Skip that bit. Tigers.
Love it.
Go on. Mark
Absolutely love it. 8.
4 from me. It's terrible. That.
4.
Right. Warriors. The Wars. So the Wars is a bit different.
Well, the Wars have even made an effort.
No, but it's well, I think when we start talking about Indigenous patterns, obviously the Kiwi one's probably going to be different. So this is the only kit I would say that stands out a little bit. It's different to the others.
Yeah, it is different. Yeah.
It's like a tribal diamonds and stuff on there. I mean, I always like Warriors kits anyway.
I like it.
Although I don't think... Do you know what? It looks a little bit like a Tour de France shirt, that one, for me.
Oof, yeah, now you've said it.
You know, it's sky up middle of it as well.
Yeah. And everybody hates cyclists.
You hate cyclists.
I hate cyclists.
There's a few more people just unsubscribed.
Sorry for all the... Well, the thing with cycling, right, they class it as a sport, don't they? But really, it's rehab, innit? That's the problem. Same with swimming.
Say it's a sport, mate.
Swimming's rehab, innit? When you're playing sport, when you hurt yourself, what do people say to you?
I wouldn't want to cycle up the Alps for rehab.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
No, it's not rehab then, is it?
But say you got injured, right, which you often did, and then someone said, you go, oh, yeah, but I want to still stay active. What do they say to you? Do a bit of cycling or do a bit of swimming, don't they?
Yeah.
So it's rehab, innit?
Well, I never did any cycling for my head injuries. But
oh. Right.
Rate it 6 for me.
5.
Manley. Don't work with the colour scheme, does it?
No.
4 from me.
Agreed, 4.
Broncos.
I mean, it's a great Broncos shirt, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that one, actually.
Yeah, it's a great Broncos shirt.
The pattern's
like
aren't that strong on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some meaning towards the patterning on the shirt, which I don't know about. Yeah. I'm uneducated. But just as I look at the shirt, I think it looks pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go... Am I allowed a 7?
You can have whatever you
7,
want.
Yeah,
Sure,
okay,
sure,
yeah,
mate.
I'm 7, yeah.
I think I agree with that. It's the first one I agree with you on.
No, we agreed the 4 on the Manley.
Oh, yeah. Yes, 7. 7 for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Gold Coast. I mean, we all remember their terrible kits at the start of the season with a massive lottery logo on. This was their one chance to disguise the lottery logo on this shirt. They could have gone with something really funky, and
yeah, they could.
The lottery logo could have blended into the rest of it, but they've gone with a really pale Indigenous pattern.
6.
4.
I like the sky blue. You know I like a sky blue, so I like that. So I'll give it a 6.
Right, the Newcastle Knights then. This one's good for me.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I mean, like you're saying again, I won't wear it. I don't like the red so close to my grid. But I don't think it'd be very complimentary of my my complexion. So 6 again. 6 again.
5 from me. No, 6. Yeah, 6. Thinks not bad, that one. Storm then. This is very traditional, isn't it?
Yeah.
I quite like this
Not
one.
Traditionally Storm though, is it? I mean, Storm. A lot of their shirts are very.
But they're usually a little
bit
bit brighter purple, aren't they? Which is darker. Well, no, it's not far off. I like the Storm one. I'm going to give that 7.
Yeah, 7. Agreed. Yeah.
Well, this isn't typically an NRL team, but it looks like Queensland did an Indigenous shirt this year as well, so probably a training shirt, this one. Strong, though, for me. Strong design, that. I'm going to give it 7.
Can I withhold a score for the Queensland shirt?
Why?
I don't want to vote for a Queensland shirt.
Oh, because you're from New South Wales?
No.
What are you on about, you idiot?
6.
Come on, man.
6.
Right,
6.
Sharks.
Love it. 9.
Oof, that's a high score.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it was near the top of my... I'm going to give that an 8.
Yeah.
Dragons.
I really like the Dragons as well. I really like the Dragons. So I'd give that an 8.
5 from me. Poor, that
5?
one. Don't like it, no. Right, here's my top 3.
All right.
Bulldogs.
Thanks for inviting me to the top 3 party. Where's my top 3 shirts?
You get Williams Weekly. That's your section of the show. Tackle 6.
By the way, we're talking about Sinead Peach, so stick with us for that.
Right, Bulldogs then. I think the reason I like this is because I think it's better than their home and away shirt. I like the fact that they've thrown black in on there. It's a really Indigenous pattern. It does what it says on the tin. I like the crazy kits. I think this one works. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah.
The colour scheme's good. Go on, rate. It's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, no, 8. Yeah, 8. Agreed.
Rabbitohs.
Oof. Do you know, I've never been big on the Rabbitohs colour scheme. We loved it when all the Burgess family was there, and the brilliant side. But I really struggled with. I could never wear a Rabbitohs shirt. Have you seen that Facebook group, the random Rabbitohs shirt?
No,
it's like Spotters group or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's Random South Guy.
That's it.
Yeah, people find them out all over the place, don't they?
Yeah.
I like this. I think I really like the Indigenous pattern on it. I think it's the animals on there. It's bold, stands out. It's everything an Indigenous shirt should be. I'm not quite sure on the colours on the arms. Again, I'm a bit uneducated, so I probably need to do a bit more research into that. But I like it. I think it's, if you have an Indigenous shirt, that's what it should look like.
Yeah, okay. 6 from me.
9 from me.
Because it would be, wouldn't it? Because you're just second.
Yeah, it's my pick.
2.
Right, number 1, Parramatta. Do you know what I like? Do you know what I like with Parramatta? Just like the colour scheme.
Is this a joke?
Oh, come on.
Is that your number 1 shirt?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's great.
What's great about it?
Everything.
Everything.
Great pattern, great colour scheme. I think I rated Parramatta my number 1 shirts earlier on in the season, and I think the Indigenous shirt, they've smashed it as well.
Have you taken a bribe?
Just rate it. Come on, get on with it.
5.
Right, so it's another 9 from me. None of them are quite 10s, but it's another 9 from me.
this actually lines us up to a new feature that we're going to roll out every now and again. When the situation is right, we're going to hand these shirts over to our tame kit designer at Pvida. We call him the Stig. That name might stick, Carl. What do you think?
The Pvida Stig?
Yeah.
Why not? We'll see. He wears all pink.
Yeah.
Pink helmet. No one knows his identity.
In fact, if you think we've got a better name, then tell us. We're going to hand it over to the designers at Pvida. They're going to come up with their Indigenous shirt and see how they would tackle this. So I'm quite excited.
Yeah, and next week we're going to have the designs. So we're going to get to have a look at the designs that they've brought up for us. Maybe put it into a vote into the comments. Once it's been decided, it's going to go to manufacture, and we're going to see how long this kit takes from point of order to when it arrives.
What is, and this is a bit of a loaded question, obviously, but why, Carl, are you testing the supply chain of this?
Because we've partnered with Pvida, and their kit quality is exceptional, and the designs are exceptional. So I really wanted the viewers to sort of go through the process with us, from kit design to ordering, manufacture to landing on the door.
Now, I know that you've been involved in designing a few kits over the years. Like, what do you think is the biggest area of friction in getting a kit into a club?
Timescale, I think, is one. Waiting for designs to come back from the designer. Some stashed providers just provide you with 10 basic designs. The guys at Pvida, they've got a load of stock designs, but they will also custom design for you. And generally, it's a very quick turnaround, so we want to see it in action. So
this Indigenous shirt, are they going to do one shirt? Are we going to give them one shirt to redesign?
I'm giving them a brief.
Right.
So this is the brief: a Rugby League Outsiders inspired Indigenous shirt, based on designs similar to the NRL kits that we've seen. I want to come up with a couple of designs. And we're going to put it to the viewers next week.
I can imagine there'll be like a whippet in the corner, and like a pie and peas, and you know what I mean, like a little tribal map to pie and pea stand at Batley.
Well, there's got to be a cow on it, hasn't there?
Well, probably, there will be a cow on it, no doubt.
Sirloin.
Yeah. Right, I'm excited for this. Yeah, obviously, that 2 to 4 week. This is what we're testing. Yeah. Because if you can get kit within 2 to 4 weeks, that is massive. I know there's some clubs have waited. Well, they've been shafted, haven't they, and end up not having a kit in the past. But it's a good little test. Okay, before we move on, I just want to do a little bit of a little segment, Carl. Now, there's a trend kicking off in football. I think it's been happening most of the season, where they've got these crap memes being bounced around, and you floated the idea a couple of weeks ago of these memes going. I think the first one was from Bradford City.
Yeah, so I'm from Bradford anyway, so this came on my radar. So Bradford City, they've come up with this crap, can only be described as a crap tin pot meme that whenever they beat a club, and obviously they've just been promoted this year, so they're beating clubs that people wouldn't expect them to beat. They post this meme on all over the social media. It says, "You've just been pecked by the chickens." Right? I just thought it was dead funny. And then a load of other League One football clubs and started getting involved, and they started creating their own. And I was like, we need some crap memes for rugby league. So I want to put it out to the viewers. I want you to send your designs in and tag us on Twitter and stuff like that. Have a go at designing one. I've thrown a few together really quickly.
By the way, that's at RL Outsiders on Twitter. Okay, so tag us in that, and we'll give it a share, and maybe we'll feature the best ones on the show next week.
But they have to be naff. They've got to be good, but naff at the same time.
Over to you, Rugby League world. Don't let us down.
Right. So I've thrown a couple together. Right. So first one for Hull FC. You've just been whacked by Watty. I mean, he's a naff mascot, isn't it?
Well, the Radiator Man. Is that what his name is? Watty?
Yeah, his name's Watty, yeah.
Watty the Radiator Man.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him when we went to Hull FC, didn't we? And we did out from outside in there. And I remember seeing Radiator Man. I was thinking,
what is it?
Is there a worse job in rugby league than Radiator Man at Hull FC? I don't know if there is. I tell you who does put a shift in though. Obviously, you've got Lelita, haven't you? The Lee. Who's the baby leopard?
The baby leopard, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
What a cracking job.
Yeah, great idea.
Let's say they, because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl or whatever, but, what a great, obviously not shy, always there, meeting all the kids. Good effort on the old mascot drills on that one.
Good for Lee, that is. They've done a good job there. You've just been horned by Ronnie.
He's got a big smile on his face as well.
Yeah. I'll try to find the naffest picture I could of him. I ain't quite got the wording right on this one, but I mean, any team that's called the Pies, there's got to be something there.
He's got to be.
Been beaten by that. I mean, what like the football fans think is like, you say, oh yeah, that team, their nickname's the Pie Eaters. I mean, it's become normalised to us because we've been watching rugby league for so long.
Well, I mean, I can't believe Bradford are called the Chickens. What's inspiring about the chickens?
Well, they're not called the chickens, they're called the Bantams.
Oh, right, that's not so bad.
Same thing.
A smaller chicken. The only thing shitter than a chicken is a smaller chicken.
Lee.
No, that one there said you've just beat. This is what my take would be. You've just been beaten by the Pie Eaters, and it's all gravy. That's what we should say. That's what that should be.
That's better. You've just been beaten by a bus stop, which I think is a great one for Lee.
Yeah.
And in traditional Lee pattern, I've put some naff leopard print on there as well.
Yeah, of course you have. There's one missing there, though. I've just come up with one on the fly. You've just witnessed a howler at Warrington. Sorry, Warrington.
Yeah, but it's meant to be when you win. Oh, well.
Yeah, but they're not winning. They're not winning.
Kind of works. Kind of works for all occasions, that one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, come on.
Right, yeah, same again. We've got loads to ask from you this week. Get your designs together. Get your crap memes on Twitter at RL Outsiders, and we'll share the best ones, which are going to be the worst ones next week.
We need a Rugby League Outsiders one, don't we?
Yeah. No, because they were just slating me off. So we're not doing that. Right, so that is what we do when crap is brilliant. Moving on to the next story then, and it's the viewers' mailbag. Now, obviously, this section is sponsored by More Than a Game. Yeah, More Than a Game do bespoke pitch markings for community clubs. So they'll come along, mark your pitch with robots, and they will also... What? I
just
imagine like a little...
No, it's like imagine like a Hoover that just goes around your house hoovering, but it's a similar sort of thing, but paints all the lines on your pitch so you get perfect pitch every time. They also do bespoke sponsorship stencils that you can put onto your pitch, so you can also sell the sponsorship on the pitch, which also helps pay for the pitch marking.
Brilliant. Right, okay, first comment then, Carl, and it's from Danny, old Dano, Danny boy, Dan lad, Dano. Dan. Is Carl's smile permanently tattooed to his face?
No.
Right. This is the magic of the edit. This, because you're probably one of the most miserable blokes I've ever had the pleasure of working with, aren't you? On a day-to-day basis.
No.
You are.
No, I'm not.
I mean, you rarely smile, do you?
I do. Huh? What are you on about?
I want to put it out to producer Harley. What's he say? Do you see him smile much? Thumbs down. We got a thumbs down. Well, I don't know what he was talking about there. It was on the back of the set 6, I think. So
maybe it's just because they always seem to have my face on the thumbnails.
Yeah, maybe. Next one from Mr. J. Ralph, old Ralpho. Any thoughts on Wakefield's run into the end of the season? I've no doubt nobody would have ever predicted the scrap with FC for 6th would be this tight, but do you lads think their loop fixture against Salford has given them an unfair advantage? Love the show. Keep it up, fellas.
Yes. I think they'll make the top 6, and the loop fixture has helped them.
Yeah.
They'll make the top 6 by 1 point. That's what I said at the start of the running.
Well, I mean, I
stand by it.
I think the loop fixture, has helped. I think the biggest help, though, is they're going to have...
They've got Castleford this week, then they've got Hull KR, and then they've got Salford on the final week.
Yeah, and if that game doesn't go ahead, they're going to be fresh,
as well. Don't go ahead? Are we going back to that again?
Well, it could happen any time, couldn't it?
I don't think Salford will throw any more games, mate, to be honest with you. No,
right.
the owners threw that one because there were protests going to be happening.
Yeah, I've got 2 points to this. My answer is I've got 2 parts to it. So, first part is, if Wakefield are in the playoffs, which I honestly think they will be, they have earned it and they deserve to be there, 100%. And the fight that they've got going on with Hull FC is just testament to that, because they've not done it easy.
No.
Right? And has it helped? Yes, but it still doesn't take away how well Wakey have done this year, in my eyes.
Agree with everything you said.
Right, so Wooden Creatures, I think they commented last week. Oh, Woodo. Woodo.
Wood dog.
The Wood dog. Jealousy over Wigan is great. We've been playing crap for 7 weeks, but we're still second. So, what does that say about everyone else?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and he's right, isn't he? You know, the problem is lots of people are waiting to knock Wigan off their perch, but they're still sat in second. They're still probably favourites. You know, one of the favourites to get to the grand final as it stands right now. So, you know, and they have been.
You know what they
crap
say
and they're
about
still
Wigan?
there.
Never write off the Wigan.
No, they don't say that.
No, they don't say that. But they should, because don't write Wigan off in playoffs. No way.
Yeah, Bevan French is back, you know, and he's having an absolute stormer in team.
Scored 80 points in the last 2 games Wigan have, so it says something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Big test coming up this week, though.
Massive test. Right, so Tancred Tankard, old Tano. Lockie Miller played all his junior football in rugby league. Right. Yes, he was selected in a really poor Aussie Sevens team for the Olympics. That as a fullback, he plays what's in front of him in a very NRL tactic. Right. So he actually.
Yeah, that was on the back of your comment last week that he said he'd
come from a sevens
background. Yeah.
But obviously played all rugby league as a junior. I mean, yeah.
Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day, but you can't. You know, what we say with there is electric.
Yes.
He was electric again at the weekend. He's just phenomenal to watch. We need more stars like that, and we need to be elevating these stars to be household names, you know, in wider sport.
Well, that's the big challenge for rugby league at the minute, isn't it? These players who should be household names. Yeah, that is rugby league's big challenge.
Right, moving on. Peter Finch, old Fincho, right?
Finch dog.
It's time for Saints to stand up and be counted. Massive set of fixtures, Hull KR, Wigan and Lee. We still don't know our best half-back partnership, but given the injury to Dagnall, Wellens can kick the can down the road as Sailor will go on to the wing. And he's right, and he's fortunate
I think this comment came in the other week,
Yeah, he literally can, just like, okay, don't worry about this issue we've got, because I've now got a space on the wing, you know, for someone who's arguably the best player for Saints this year. You know, just moving around the pitch, he can perform anywhere, isn't he?
Yeah, but
do you think he's speed?
No. I don't like him on the wing.
I think he's smothered.
I don't think it's his position. I think he was much better when he was at fullback. But then you got Wellesby, haven't you? And Wellesby can't really play anywhere else.
Do you know what? I mean, Wellesby does some electric stuff. He does, you know, and he often sets games alight. But the thing about Wellesby, when you dig into his stats, they are phenomenal.
Yeah, he does all the little things really well. Yeah, 1%ers and carries out a back play are always really high numbers. But Tristan's...
So what I'm saying there is you might not get the 90-yard break, you know, skipping round 5 or 6 players in order to score a try that you'd get from Sailor. But add all the other stats up that Wellesby gives you, and you just... It's a tough call, like, you know. Anyway, but like I said, kick the can down the road, stick Sailor on the wing. You've still got your brilliant players on the pitch.
He ain't got to worry about it now, has he?
Yeah. Right, Face Foridario. I'm going to stop saying these names. Oh, Faceo. You know, Faceo. Great video as usual, fellas. Refreshing and always worth a watch. Keep up the great work. So nice comment to finish on there, Carl. He's obviously talking about me.
All right, move on then.
Tackle 5, and we're going to check in with Conrad Anderson of the North Wales Crusaders. Why are we talking to him, Cal?
Yeah, Conrad is he works in a media role at Crusaders and a managerial role in the back room staff. North Wales Crusaders have just picked up the league title for League One this year. They've been incredible all season. They've got games to spare and they've already picked up the league title. So we thought we'd check in with them as they lifted the cup this week with their win against Keith. Conrad Anderson joining us on the line from North Wales Crusaders. Conrad, first of all, congratulations of the win at the weekend. Just tell me what the celebrations were like after the game.
Oh, wild, to be honest. Everything. What I liked about it was, you know, our fans that have stuck with us, you know, through the hard times. You know, seeing smiles on their face, you know, and some of them, you know, quite emotional, happy tears, of course. I found, you know, this is why we do it. You know, and the brand of rugby we've seen this season has just been unbelievable, and you know, and it was great. And I think some of them are still celebrating now, to be honest. But it went on late into the night, so I'm good on them.
Conrad, I was just thinking back to probably back end of last year, into this start of the season. You had a bit of, like you said, turmoil at the club, all sorts going on with the change in ownership and staff members moving on and all this kind of thing. Like, when did you think, right, okay, the ship is settling and now we're really making a push to win this league?
Well, firstly, I think you summed it up nicely there. There was a bit of a turmoil for years, if you like, because in 23 we didn't have a ground to play on, and we lost the first 7 games, and our players at them were on win-lose money really, and we got within 80 minutes of promotion. So I thought that was almost a sporting miracle. But I thought then, this team's got a bit of fight, and it all starts from the top. Carl Forster brings in quality players, but he brings in the personality before the player, if you like, before the skill of the player, and they're a tight knit bunch, and that togetherness has been the sort of DNA of Crusaders since Carl took over. Last year was a bit of a turmoil year in regards to probably underachieved, but we didn't have the resources. We had an ownership change halfway through the season. That didn't work out as best as it could, and I think we got within 24 hours of the club closing down really, and then Egg Chasers was the lifeline, and they are rugby people, rugby union predominantly, but rugby people, they're business people, and they've got experience in sort of lifting businesses up and upsizing businesses, and that's what they've done with North Wales Crusaders. They've put their money where their mouth is, and they've invested in the team, and all their hard work and dedication, from the top, and all the volunteers as well who help, week in, week out, from the kit person to the media people to the physios, to the ball boys and girls. It's for them, and we're on the rise, and that's what it's all about.
Conrad, you spoke about Carl briefly there. He transitioned to full-time coach this season, didn't he? Just looking at the players that he's brought in, who do you think he's brought in that's really sort of made a difference? And second part of that question is, how do you think Carl's transition has been into like a full-time coaching role?
I think Carl being in a full-time coaching role, I think he's had more sort of been able to watch the games, analyse the games a bit more, seeing it from a different angle. I think mentally you think differently, don't you? When you're a player coach, you sort of, hey lads, hey sort of mentality. But when you're sort of outside the bubble, you can, or not outside the bubble, but watching the game from a different perspective. I think you can change it, and you can change it. But bringing players in, well, I think a lot of eyebrows were raising when we saw the signings of Sam Wild. He's good enough to be in Super League, in my opinion. And also the likes of the quality halfbacks like Jordy Gibson. You've got Ollie Brooks from Widnes. You think these are serious players. Lloyd Roby, Spedding. I know they're from Spedding came from Swinton, but they're all these quality players. They can play in the championship standard players. And the likes of Toby Hughes. Any other team, any other year, Toby Hughes would be starting every week, but he's a young lad, but because of the quality of players, he was on the fringe of the squad really, and the last month he has had his opportunity and he took it with both hands, and he's an exceptional player, exciting talent, and he signed another year, I think, for 2026. But these players coming in, you think, wow, this is ambition. We got excited for that, and you think to yourself, surely not. Little Crusaders, we're not used to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We at one point, you think to yourself, have we got a team next year? But for the owners now, current owners signing players for next year halfway through the season, you think to yourself, well, they're here for the long term, and it made me sort of proud, because I'm thinking to myself, this is what we deserve. This is what everyone deserves. This is a sleeping giant in North Wales, in Wales, carrying the flag for Rugby League in Wales, because we're the only professional club in Wales. So I'm proud of that, and I think all the noise contract? Have I got is it a club next year? That's gone away, and I think we're here to stay.
You touched on it a little bit there about the Welsh factor. Try and put into words just how important this is for Welsh Rugby League.
Oh, it's very important. Because at the minute, the other club, Rugby Union, is going through a bit of it's collapsing. The regions in Welsh Rugby Union, they're going from 4 to 2. And you think to yourself, this could be an opportunity for Rugby League to put its mark on the game. I know the Welsh Rugby League are doing exceptionally well, bringing talent through, in the South Wales. I think there's over, 1,000, youngsters on their books. And, there's ambition there. There's a, semi-professional club in North Wales. We might not have the biggest crowds, but they are growing slowly but surely. And, and it is hard at the minute with competitive sport in North Wales, because the Wrexham Football Club with the owners of Hollywood. Yeah. We're competing with that, but I think we're doing all right. We're getting more column inches. We're making a noise. We're getting more journalists to the games, and people. I think our social media, it's like we've got like 14,000 people liking our page and things. It's growing and growing all the time. So I think it is important that we have a presence in Wales and North Wales, and like I say, may it continue.
Right, last question then, Conrad. Don't want to keep you too long, mate. Just obviously, you're going to be in the Championship next year. There's been a restructure change, but you would have been there anyway, having now won the league. Who are you looking forward to playing against out of those Championship sides? Obviously, we don't know fully who's going to be in there, but if you could name a couple of sides that you're looking to travel to next year, who would they be?
Well, the first one that jumps out is the Widnes. That's a bit of a local derby. I think we played them in the Challenge Cup this year, didn't we? And we had almost 2,000 people there. So, it'd be great to test yourself against famous clubs like that. Widnes, York would be a good thing if they're not in Super League. Bradford, if they're not in Super League. All the famous names. Be good to go to Oldham again. I know they recruited very well, and be good to test ourselves against Oldham actually, because we played them in the League One a couple of seasons ago, and I think we knocked them out actually at the playoffs in 23, didn't we? So it'd be good to sort of say how much have we've improved. You know what I mean? Sort of measure yourself. I love going to like Batley and all them type of clubs, and I also like going to League One clubs. Like I like going to Keighley, personally. All the Cumbrian clubs, the rich in heritage. Good to see their fans passionate about the game, and so I'm looking forward to all of it, to be honest.
Well, Conrad, thank you very much for taking time to speak to us today. Carl and I both agree that it's very much deserved, the win, and I want to wish you the best of luck for next year in whatever form the league looks, but hopefully you'll crack on and put in a good show next year as well.
I think we will, and I think we've got some signings coming in, and that and I think we will want to compete. Just to go off, this is how much the owners are invested in the team. They put an application in for Super League. The only League One club. Okay, people might be laughing at that, but you got to think. Well, I don't blame them. You've got to show ambition, don't you? You know what I mean? And I just think, good on them. Good on Egg Chasers that have saved the club, really. But like I say, I'm happy. I'm pleased with all the fans, long-suffering fans that I keep. We're the only ones that donate. When we've got the begging ball out, say people, put the money in, and it was great to see them with a smile on their face. Rugby League is a good escape. It's a good release. With all that's going on in the world. It's great that someone, people are laughing and happy and hugging the players and that, and it was great to see.
Brilliant. Well done, Conrad, and good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Right, Carl, on the back of that interview then, what were the main points that you took from it?
Just the fact that the point he made about the Crusaders still doing well in Wrexham, despite the fact that they've got the Wrexham football team, which is just huge at the minute. I think it's credit to the club. They're continuing to grow, both on the field and off the field. And obviously success helps bring people through the gates, doesn't it? So I hope they have a good season next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's great for us as expansionists in the game,
that
a Welsh side has picked up that title. It solidifies the fact that we need these wider clubs, don't we?
Yeah.
You know, they're right on the end of that M62 corridor. You know, in fact, you can't get any much further. You know, well, you can, but you know what I mean. Geographically, they're right out there. For them to win the league is brilliant. You know, because it cements this idea that we need these wider clubs in there. Great for Welsh Rugby League, and also it's a brilliant setup there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great little stadium. It's not too big, it's not too small. High quality setup. I think the council do a really good job of running that stadium with the different teams that play there. But it really feels like the home. You know, when you turn up there, it doesn't feel like they're just borrowing a stadium from someone. It feels like North Wales Crusaders home. It's a good little day out. Yeah, just I like the club, and I like the fact that they've been given that chance. So there's a lot of, let's call them an expansion club. It's kind of what they were, weren't it? They were set up in Super League years ago, and there's a lot of expansion clubs who last a few years, it don't work out, and they go to the wall. But you know, they've been through the difficult times and kicked out of Super League, right back to the bottom division. At one point, they weren't even performing in League One, and it's just nice to see them gradually keep on building. And now they've got a league title to their name. So awesome story.
And the thing that for me in North Wales, and I'd encourage people to do is, especially when they start playing new clubs next year in whatever format it is go to the your team's away fixture to North Wales, right, and then get on the piss afterwards. Because it's brilliant there on the coast, especially when the weather's great. You know, so go and take in some rugby at a different club, and then have a night out with your mates, because it's a phenomenal place to watch rugby league. Right, so thanks Conrad for that little interview. Moving on to the Williams Weekly then, Carl, and a little bit controversial this.
A little bit.
Yeah, so obviously it's on the back of the comments made to the referee on the pitch at the weekend by Sinead Peach. Obviously she saw a red card for this incident, and we thought we'd dive into it. And my question around this is, clearly she's going to pick up some kind of disciplinary from this. How long, if any, do you think the ban should be? But let's put some context around the story first.
Yeah, let's put some context on it for anyone who doesn't know this story. I'd be surprised for anybody in Rugby League who hasn't seen this story. So she was sent off. Saints were awarded a penalty close to the sticks. The camera zoomed out, and then the next thing you heard was the referee saying, "I ain't having that. You saying which one of those are you shagging?" Off, red card. So she clearly made a comment to the referee. Now, yeah, it's blown up. I mean, the Women's Rugby League hasn't had the headlines like this all year. And all of a sudden, you're on social media, and it's they're talking about it in Australia, the NRL, and yeah, there's just a whole lot to dive into here, I suppose.
Yeah, there is, and it's one of those where, if you imagine like the Venn diagram of politics and culture and like, you know.
Yeah, because it's wider than just rugby league, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is wider than, and this we're either victims of it or like, you know, heroes of it or whatever. But we've got this area where politics and societal, you know,
not societal norms and
culture
stuff,
and whatever, is mixing with sport, right? Rightly or wrongly, wherever you stand on it. And I think if this had happened 10 years ago,
it'd have been laughed off.
It'd have been laughed off.
Yeah, it would have been laughed off. Yeah.
And Carl, you know, so what's your take on it? As in, how, when you hear this story, right? Forget about the ban for a second. Imagine you're on the pitch or whatever, you know what I mean, and this happens. Like, what's your immediate thoughts on it?
Well, me, I'd just laugh it off. I don't think it's that serious. It is, because of how society accepts things these days. But to me, it wouldn't offend me. I'd laugh it off. But that's me personally. But yeah, when you start looking at the wider society, you just can't say stuff like that, can you, these days?
No, you're not allowed. And the reason being is because the real issue, you're right. On the pitch, you're like, come on, laugh it off. Let's get on with it. You know, worst case, give them an extra. I mean, what do you do if they're inactive? If they a penalty?
No, I go further than that. I do think it was a red card all day long. I think she should have been sent off for it.
Right. Okay.
But do I think do I take that much offence and something like that? No, not really.
No, you don't until you flip it, and you put you do the inverse.
Yeah. So
imagine
what
it was a male player
saying to a female referee, which one are you?
And this is where the issue is.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we have been programmed that is wholly unacceptable, completely unacceptable. You know, like I would that would be a severe ban for any male player that did that.
Yeah, agree.
Now, in my mind, in the world of fairness,
should be exactly the same.
I'm struggling. Yeah, it should be exactly the same, but I'm actually struggling because actually, deep down, my own thoughts is, it's not that bad an issue.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And this is where we're torn, in it. And I think this is why this has become a global story, because we've now got this. Hang on a minute, we've just had our world rocked a little bit here. So.
Yeah, if everyone's been treated fairly, and then it should. It's the same either way, isn't it? It has to be.
I don't know if I necessarily expect an answer from this, but what's your take on the fact that it was a red?
I think it was the right decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was you surprised that it was a red?
No.
Right.
I wasn't. I know you was. No, I wasn't surprised. I don't think any player could get away with saying something like that to a referee. Right. Players disagree with referees all the time. They'll argue with referees. They're like, come on, ref, that ain't right, and all the rest of it. But I think as soon as you turn something and you make it a personal attack.
Is it a personal attack?
Yeah, because he said, it is a personal attack.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why is it? Genuinely, why is it a personal attack?
Why ain't it?
Well, because a personal attack is you are insert expletive.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? That is a personal attack.
You are X with that person is a personal attack. I know it was said slightly different. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't know if it is. I don't know. I need to.
Maybe it was said a little bit tongue in cheek.
It was tongue in cheek, wasn't it?
Yeah, but don't change the fact that it was a personal attack.
No, like a personal attack is you are this, and I'll smash you in the face and I'll do whatever. That's like a personal attack. You know what I mean? I don't see this as a personal attack.
You're that player. That's why they've just got a penalty. Personal attack, same thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, it's just I don't know. You guys are gonna have to let us know what you think. I don't know how you run a poll.
It's a good job this isn't on TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank God that this is on YouTube.
Yeah. So okay. So you're saying that the red was the right decision?
Yeah, I think the red was the right decision.
See. This is where I'm torn, because in societal terms, I'm like 100% red. Throw the bucket. Personally, I'm thinking, do you know what? I've got broader shoulders than that, and actually, I want to see the best players on the pitch.
Right, okay. Flip it again then.
Yeah.
So, is it Tara, the female referee?
Tara Jones.
Yeah, she's refereeing a Super League game. One of the players says it's the same thing to her. What are you thinking? Do you think that's a red card or not?
Personally, I think, do you know what? It is what it is. It's dissent to a referee. Give him the 10 metres or whatever. Because, listen, we've been campaigning for equal rights and all this kind of stuff for years and years. The programming that we're talking about, because of that, I'm thinking, I'm really torn on it.
Yeah, no, I know you are.
And the other thing as well is,
so there are in a way.
Yeah, because the other side is I know there'll be some blokes there going, "Fucking get a grip," you know what I mean? It's just a comment, just get on with it. What's the matter with you? But it's just a strange world we live in right now.
I suppose equality works always, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to, should I say?
Yeah.
So therefore,
can we just do a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek angle on this? Do you think like Sinead Peach is currently a hero in her playing group, or a legend in her playing group, or the villain? Do you know what I mean?
I think villain. I think
so.
But at the time, I don't think they were. I actually, when I saw her walking off the pitch...
Do you think they're playing it down a little bit?
I was like, is she actually smirking here as she's walking off the pitch? The other thing to throw in here is what we haven't even mentioned. She is the captain of the team. He's not just one of the other players. And the captain can go up to him and go, out of line that. She is the captain. She's the leader of that team. Is that a way for any captain to be behaving?
Talking it through with you, Carl, I'm actually, although I was confused at the moment, and I was shocked that it was a red and how the situation unfolded, as I sit here right now, you're right, it is a red. And it is, I don't know what the ban should be, but I think there should be a ban.
Oh, without doubt that's coming.
And I think almost an example should be made here. Purely on the back of like what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is the world we're in right now. So,
I think it will. I think it will be a big ban with a fine, and I think the RFL, the match review panel, whoever it is, will throw the book at her.
Do you think the club will get a fine?
Possibly. I don't know how it works. Possibly.
Right. Very interesting talking point, and in that place where politics literally meets sport. And,
yeah, big time.
The two things should never really meet, but unfortunately, it has. Carl, what can we look forward to over the next week or 2 weeks?
Our prediction show is on the channel, depending on when you're watching this. So, yeah, we're diving into the last couple of weeks as we take the run into the playoffs. And we're going to have an Ashes special show dropping. I don't know the exact date. It's going to be soon.
Brilliant. Okay, so until the next video, take care.